Okay, so can you tell us about your mom and dad? Do you know where your mom came from?
My mom came from Whitewater,
Okay,
and my dad came from Janesville.
Janesville. And do you know how they met?
I really don't know how they met. I know what happened to them. Wherever they met. My dad was very fortunate in having. He was one of the first young men that learned how to run a railroad train. He was the only engineer that went from Janesville to Chicago. And he was the youngest man that they had.
Wow.
Yeah. He had a good job.
What did your dad look like?
He was thin, not too tall. Nice looking.
And what did your mom look like when she was young?
Oh, she was cute. My mother was a good-looking lady. Yeah, she was.
What are their personalities? Like, what was your dad like?
He was a good man until he started to learn how to drink.
Uh-huh.
And then when he started to drink, he went bonkers.
Was he like an angry drunk or mean or?
No, he just didn't. We didn't pay much attention to him,
Oh.
you know. And my mom, she was worked with the school system, and she sent me. We only lived a block from school, the Grant School. It isn't even there anymore.
Uh-huh.
And my mom sent me because she thought my dad was going to be on that train, you know, running it, but he wasn't. But she sent me from Janesville to Milwaukee, where the teacher boarded and roomed with us. The teachers that, you know, they roomed and boarded with us, and then she wanted to take me home so her parents could see me. And she did, but I got home there. The next day I was back because I cried all the time I was there. I want to go home, I want to go home. I had a doll and a suitcase. I was on that train all by myself.
Wow. How old were you?
Well, I had to be in
Young.
young. Kindergarten probably, first grade. There. Yeah.
What was your mom's personality like?
She was good personality. She was. I should show you. Here, wait a minute. Okay.
All right. So, what did your mom do? Did she work?
No, she didn't. Not when we were younger. No.
And your dad, he was on the railroad?
Yeah.
Do you have any special memories of them when you were little?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
So you lived with your both parents?
I know. I lived with my grandma.
Oh, how long did you live with both parents for?
Oh God, I must have been. Probably until I was. Let's see. I graduated from high school when I was 17. And I would say probably 13, 12, 13.
And you went to live with your
Then I went
grandma,
yeah.
Sadie?
Huh?
Sadie Bunn?
Yeah, Sadie Bunn.
And that was your dad's mom?
That was my dad's mom.
Oh. What was your relationship like with your dad?
Well, after Harriet was born, she was the first. There were 4 girls in our family, and she was the first one. And then I came 2 years later. And so, what was the question?
What was your relationship like with your dad?
We got along good.
You did?
Yeah, we had. After she outgrew whatever Grandma made her, then I dove into it.
What was your relationship like with your mom?
She was good too, though. I think we were closer to her in talking and telling things, you know.
Yeah.
I would say.
All right, tell us about your sisters. So Harriet was the oldest.
Harriet was the oldest. She was 2 years older than I was, and I came next, and then Geraldine came next, and she didn't live there. She was the odd one in the family. She just thought she could have everything, and she kind of lied and she didn't fit somehow. And then after she was born, then Tubby came. And her name was Ada Winifred.
Ada Winifred.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She was named after my mother's best friends. Ada for the woman and Winifred for the man.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was Harriet like?
Harriet was, well, she was afraid to do most anything. I think she was afraid of getting up in school, like to say something because they'd laugh at her or some I don't know what you'd call that.
Maybe shy or?
Yeah, she was shy.
Shy.
Yeah.
So Harriet, did she get married?
Well, yeah, she got married. She married Jack.
Jack.
Yeah.
And then when did Harriet die?
Harriet died Harriet died, I wish I had.
Harriet and Jack. Where did they live in? Did they live in California?
No, she lived here. She was with my grandma too. Harriet and I lived with my grandma. And what was the question?
I don't remember. So then when did Geraldine die? Did you call her Jerry or just
Jerry?
Jerry.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, she was really Jerry. Yeah. Oh, she died. She was the first one to die.
Was she like 70 or 60, 70, something like that?
Oh, God.
Oh, that's all right. Do you remember, did she get married?
Oh, yeah, she was married, but she was divorced too.
Oh.
And she had Dawn. I don't remember if you knew. You don't remember Dawn.
No, that's
she
her.
Had her one. That was her one child. And I still talk to her. We talk to each other. She lives in California.
Oh, she does?
And she calls me, and I talk to her. Yeah.
What's Dawn's last name? Do you know?
Yeah, Moonahan.
Okay. Did Harriet have kids?
Yeah, Harriet had one boy. Here's his picture right here. Oh no, that's not his. Yes, it is too. This is Harriet's boy. Remember Jack? This is Harriet's son.
This is Greg.
That's Greg.
Greg. Oh,
Yeah.
that's Harriet's
She only
son?
had one boy. Yeah. She had one boy. That was it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Got it straightened out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tubby. Did she get married?
Oh, yeah, she was married and divorced.
And did she have kids?
Huh?
Did she have kids?
Yeah, she had Paula. She had 2 kids. She had Paula and, God, I can't remember that boy's name. I just can't remember that boy's name.
Where did they live?
They lived in California. In California.
Oh.
And how my mother ended up out there, and how Tubby did was Jack was in the service, and he went for his thing that they have to do before they get into the service. He was in what's the name? Oh, I almost had it. Treasure Island. That's where they had a stay place where all the men came to before they went into the actual fighting, you
Uh-huh.
know. And so then my mother decided, because he was out there and everybody thought it was so nice, that she'd go out there and live. And so she went out, and Harry went out, and she ended up out there. But then when the war was over, they all came back.
Oh, do you know where they lived in California?
Yeah, they lived in oh God, what's the name of that place?
Was it like Southern California
No,
or Northern?
Northern, near closer to
San Francisco is northern?
closer to San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you and your sisters like to do when you were young?
Oh, we loved to go ice skating. We were good ice skaters, and yeah, swimming. Loved to swim. We didn't have any. We didn't have much money, you know, back in those days. 'Cause when I was, you're even younger than you kids. How old are you? 10. Yeah, even before that. In the days that I grew up, instead of having a refrigerator, we had an ice box, but it was the guy come around at noon with a horse and buggy, and he had all the ice was all cut and delivered. They had a chain on it that they weighed it with. They took this big hunk of ice and weighed it on that chain, and then they brought it up to your house and put it in the porch. And then the ice box was in the house, and then they brought it from the porch into the house, and then it just dripped and melted. Isn't that sad? Yeah. Did you get that straight?
Yep.
And then your milk was delivered to you like that, the same way, in a quart bottle, and even like in the winter time, they'd leave it on the porch, and it would come up to the top because it would freeze, and then they'd take that off for their coffee. Yeah, that coffee stuff. Yeah, that's how they got their milk and then the first time we got a refrigerator was, oh my goodness, we just thought there were just people in the whole world. Probably paid $25 for it. Yeah, it was different. And I used to wear, she would turn over if she saw the underwear that I wore. Big black silver pantaloons.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year were you born in?
1919.
1919.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Since it's
Uh-huh.
almost 29. It's almost 2019.
Yeah. So I'm almost there.
I don't know. That's crazy.
You won't have many people that have that.
No. What sister were you closest to?
I was closest to my first grade teacher, or my teacher that took me to Cal.
Oh no! What sister? What sister?
What sister? I think Tubby was the closest one. We were both kind of the same. Laugh at everything and have fun.
And you were not close to Geraldine.
No.
Where did Geraldine live?
She lived in Rockford.
Okay.
With her daughter and her husband. But she was divorced too.
Were all your sisters divorced?
No, Harriet wasn't.
Harriet wasn't.
And Jerry and Tubby were.
Jerry and Tubby
Yeah.
were.
See, they were the youngest ones.
Where and when were you born? Let's see, where were you born?
I was born in Janesville.
At a hospital
In a hospital. Yeah.
in 1919?
In 1919. Yep. Yeah, a long time ago.
And where did you grow up? Like
I grew up in Janesville.
in Janesville?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where did you live in Janesville? Do you
We
remember?
lived at 220 North Palm Street, and we had the first house in, I think it was Janesville, that had the new, come out with a pebble dash, that they call it, a pebble dash house that was mixed with, it was a nice house. It was mixed with graded, colored, little tiny stones, you
Okay.
know. It was different. Yeah, it was nice.
And then how long did you live there?
Well, see, we lived down. We lived there. There was a downstairs and an upstairs, and so we lived downstairs. Our family lived down, and my grandma lived upstairs.
Okay.
We always made room for her.
Who was your grandma?
Sadie Bunn.
Oh, okay. Sadie Bun. All right. What was your house like?
Nice. We had a nice house. Very nice. We had the living room. The rooms were smaller and everything too. They weren't massive like they are now, you know. And it had colonnades in the living room to divide the living room and the dining room. And we didn't have furnaces then either. We had round oak stoves.
Wow.
You had to shovel the coal into them, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that one of your chores? Did you have chores?
Yeah, we had to help clean house and stuff. And on Sunday, always we didn't have a big meal. We had, my dad made the popcorn and my mother made the fudge, and that's what we had for dinner. That was a big deal for us. And then we had stuff to pick on too, you know. But he made, and our popcorn came in like an ear of corn, you know. They were all little ears, and little tiny ears. We always had that popcorn, and that's probably my love for popcorn.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why you love
Yeah.
popcorn so much.
I bet I'm worth my weight in something in that popcorn, because I still love it just like that. I got it all over the house.
What was the kitchen like back then?
The kitchen was very, very nice. Our house was really nice. The kitchen, my mother had a thing that you pulled out of the cupboard, and it was a big flour where you kept your flour, because she made all of her bread. And she was a good cook. Always was a good cook. And my grandma's the one that had the money. And when I graduated from high school, she gave me for an inheritance a 12-count dish of, I handed it down to, who did I hand that down to?
Marnie?
No, it's Jerry. Gerald. Is it Jerry? Oh, Haviland China. Having 12-ounce, had everything with it. And if we did have anything, after they got a divorce and we did have dinner on Sunday, we always used that Haviland China. And she left that to me for graduation.
Nice.
And when I graduated, I left it to, who did I leave that to? God, I left it to one of my kids. Go ahead. You can go out. There's nobody out there now. Just don't get lost. What was I talking about? um,
You're China.
not China, yeah, the China. Who's got? Oh, Jerry.
Why did you call Tubby Tubby?
Because she was fat.
Oh.
She was a chunk. The rest of us were all skin and bones, and she was a chunk.
Her whole life was she bigger?
Yeah, she always, yeah.
Always.
Yeah, well, not fat. She was just bigger than,
Bigger than everyone.
And she's always gone by that. Even when I went to California and she introduced me to anybody, she called me. She had to make up excuses of who I was.
One. Okay. Who has been the most important person in your life? Can you tell me about him or her?
I don't know who's been the most important. I would suppose you'd have to say Carl. Mm-hmm.
All right. What has been the happiest moment of your life?
I suppose the very happiest moment was when I had Peter, my baby. This is the first one.
He's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the saddest?
The saddest? When I died. That wasn't very nice, was it? It's the saddest moment. I don't have many sad moments. I really don't, but I got one. No, now wait a minute. Don't get excited. I don't have to go any place, so I can stay here as long as I want.
Yeah.
The saddest moment. I wouldn't say I had none of my close, like you guys, and they're all still a sad moment in my life. I don't know.
All right. Who has been the biggest influence on your life?
Why did you bring that over here? Saddest moment in my life.
No, who's been the biggest influence on your life?
Those are hard questions, you know.
I know. You got to think about them.
Biggest
influence on your life. Like, has there been? Did you have a mentor or somebody you looked up to, or?
I would have to say Steph. Steph Frederick.
Yeah.
You know, you got the spelling of that name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, little boy. Hello, little boy. Here.
Better not eat too much of that meat.
What did you do for a living?
What did I do for a living? Oh, I did so many things.
What was your first job?
My first job was after I graduated. I only graduated when I was only 17. I couldn't, I had to go get a thing from the. I had to go get a thing from the high school, and the high school wasn't there down where,
Yeah, it was down by the river, right?
Yeah, it wasn't there then. This was before that was even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had to go in and get a certificate saying that I was that age. And yes, I was only 17.
So what job did you have the longest?
Oh, the one out of the county.
And what did you do there?
I worked in the office. I was a office. There were only 4 of us that worked,
Uh-huh.
and that building was empty. That great big, huge building was empty, and there was just the 4 of us. And on Mondays, they always went all. This was a where they took X-rays
Uh-huh.
all over the whole, you know. And on Mondays, they left early in the morning, and I had to go and open that place up all by myself. I was there all alone all day while they went to all over Wisconsin and took X-rays. Then they brought them back to us, and Dr. Wilkie came down from Madison and read all of them, you know, read all the X-rays.
Yeah.
And then I had to type them all up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Brains.
Let's see. What was it like living through the Great Depression?
Not any worse than what it is right now. Great Depression, yeah, that was, I can remember Peter was just a little guy. He was our first baby and just a little guy. And you couldn't buy anything. We didn't have, you couldn't put up a Christmas tree or anything. Nothing. We had no, and so we found this little second-hand tin car, a little car that you could drive, and Carl fixed it all up and smoothed it all out and everything. We put it up in the attic, and we lived in his house that he grew up in down in Beloit. That's where we lived. Because see, it was the war was on, and he couldn't go because he had ulcers.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't go because he had that. And so he had to drive to work to Janesville every day. They had a regular 6-pack car, you know, that will pick him up. And he worked 6 days a week.
Where?
Down in Janesville.
At
in
GM?
The plant in GM,
Okay.
yeah, in GM in Janesville. But he had. And Peter was just thrilled to death with that car. He just, when he got it, he didn't, he just didn't, he was like, what? He was born in, Peter.
43 or 45? 43? 42?
Isn't it terrible? I can't remember the year. God, I'd have to check that for you. I would have to check that for you because I don't really know. Let's see, Peter is what, 76 now?
I don't know.
Is he 70?
75 or 76, yeah.
You'd have to take it from that day.
That's all right. All right, next question.
I was told that.
Why were you told you would never have kids?
Well, the reason I wanted one because I thought when you got married that's what you'd have right away.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And he, of course, he probably knew, but he didn't tell me.
Didn't tell you what?
That well, when we got married and I was going to have kids, and we didn't say much about that.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't do those things at that age.
Yeah.
And you just, I remember I come home from the doctor's office. The doctor told me that I should put my name in for adoption because I would probably never have kids. I was so tiny.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He told me he said if I were you, I'd put, hello little baby. I would put my name in right away for adoption because you're so small that you probably never have kids.
Wow.
And I come home and I crawl all the way up that hill by myself, and he was in bed sleeping because he worked nights, you know. And I told him, and oh God, I was just beside myself. Well, then it wasn't more than maybe I would say 2 months later, we were going to go to a football game, a Packers game, you know.
Uh-huh.
And on the way coming back, we wanted to stop at this, what was where you throw a penny in
Yeah.
the water, you know. And I threw that penny in that water, and the next month I was pregnant. Isn't that something, though? I would go back. I think of those things, and I think, oh, that was. Yeah.
How did you meet Carl?
At a tavern.
Was it love at first sight, or no?
No, it wasn't. But it's just gradual.
Did he ask you out on a date, or what?
Yeah. Yes, he did. He really wanted to be with me.
Did you think
And
he was?
we there was Harriet, my sister Harriet, and there was somebody else with us, but I can't remember who that was. But there were 3 of us, I know, and he come over and wanted to dance with me. And then he danced with me once, and then he danced with me twice, and then he danced with me 3 times. And he lived in Beloit, you know, we were
Yeah.
in Beloit, and he lived in Beloit, and he asked me if he could take me home, and I said yes. And I you know, and during that AIDS thing, he couldn't go into the service because he had ulcers.
Yeah.
And so he worked, and so he had a chance to go and do things, you know. And he took me right home. But then he wanted to see me again. And he wanted to see me, and I wanted to see him.
Did you think he was handsome?
I didn't think he was handsome. I thought he was very nice looking because he dressed really, really, really nice.
He did.
Mm-hmm, yes, he did. He bought his clothes all at a good men's store down in Beloit, because that's where he lived, you know.
Yeah.
And when he was dressed up, he really looked good. Of course, we didn't have a wedding. We had to get married, but I mean, Harriet and Jack, my sister Harriet,
Yeah.
and her, she married Jack.
Yeah.
They stood up with us.
And you went to Iowa, right?
We went to where we could get married right away.
Where was that?
That was in where they gamble there now. It's a gambling town.
Wasn't it Dubuque or something?
No,
or?
not there, but everybody goes there. The big place, a big gambling place. Oh, you know, where people fly out to that place to.
Oh, Las Vegas?
Yes.
You got married in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you did? I always thought it was Iowa or something.
No, it was Las Vegas. But we just got married because that's what you could do. I mean, any place else, I think you had to have more. You had to have
Blood tests and stuff? Or?
I can't remember. I know the.
How did you get to Las Vegas? Did you?
Harriet and Jack.
You drove
took us-
out there?
Mhm, yeah.
And you got married and came back?
Uh-huh. And then when we got back, we went to Milwaukee to what was that guy he was doing? He was some guy was. Are you getting? Is this funny? Does this sound funny to you? Well, wait till you go get married. Yeah, you'll have to have a dress that costs $30,000 and.
No.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. I can't remember.
It says, this is going to sound morbid, but how do you view death? Most people are so terrified of death, they refuse to talk about it.
How do I, I think it's going to be the best day of my life. I do. I'm not kidding you. I think it'll be the best day of my life.
That's a good way to view it.
Yes, I do.
If this was your living will, are there any words of wisdom you'd like to leave behind?
Well, I just think that your family is your most important thing in the whole world to you,
Yeah.
you know. And I think that if you're, you know, the world is so crapped up and stupid today that I just, well, I don't know. I'm glad mine did, you know, even sometimes when you had the fights and all this and that and the other thing, you know, minor, just, you never were sorry that you married the same man. And if you get a divorce and marry somebody else, I don't know what that would be. I just don't know. I still think you should, you know, once you get married, that's it. Even though even though sometimes you think you can't stand it.
Throughout your life, what did you want most? And how badly did you want it?
Well, I wanted to get married. I had a goodwill thing. That's where you put all your
Like a chest? Like a...
no, you know, if you get something you put in this big thing, cedar chest.
Yeah.
A cedar chest. Yeah, I wanted the cedar chest, and I really didn't. Back then we didn't want big things like they do now. You know, one's got to have a better house than the next one, and one's got this, and I never felt like that. Well, we never had money.
Hi, Grandma!
Oh, there you are. Where's the girl? Your girlfriend?
Well, my friend is here, but it's not my girlfriend.
Rory! Oh
Hi,
my
Grandma.
God! Oh my God! Oh, girl! Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, yeah. How do I look? You look good. Fat. I know. Oh, well, listen. Hey, listen.
Oh,
You've got to see Grandma, huh? Oh, bless you. Oh, honey. My grandma, little boy. Oh, I know.
I can always cry, Grandma.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good for you. That's good for you. Well, Matthew, for heaven's sakes, you want a surprise of your life?
What's that?
Oh, just a minute, and I'll hand it to you.
Matthew O'Mara.
Who's that?
It's your cousin.
This Ross?
This is Ross.
Hi, Rossi. What's up, buddy?
Oh, what's up? How you been?
Oh, he's...
Came up to see Grandma.
Yep, I'm hanging out with Grandma today.
That is fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like the only one here except for Amber. No one comes to see her, and I'm like, yeah, well, how long are you here for?
Here till Sunday. Okay, Grandma, I got a question for you.
okay. Yep.
So, what are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about?
Yep. And what is it about life that excites you?
Oh, my. What am I passionate about? Oh,
I mean, every day, what gets you moving? What gets you grooving? What are you excited about?
it's been so long since I've been excited that I
Or
just-
what, you know, when
well,
you were
I know.
when you were
Yeah,
babysitting us, maybe. Oh,
Just-
1919 you were born. You've seen a lot,
I
right?
know. Yes, I have.
And
Almost,
you saw the tail end of the first-
100 years.
You were probably you probably experienced the tail end of the First World War, right? Well, you were young then,
I was
but
young.
still,
Yeah. And
there were
but
probably
I
still some
remember,
effects,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you had to live through the Second World War.
Yeah.
And also, your birthday's on Pearl Harbor Day. So how old were you when?
Well, I was
Pearl-
on Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah.
I was married, I think, then.
Oh, so like
yeah.
That
maybe
was December 7th, 1942,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
42.
See, yeah.
And Peter was born 40,
He was born in April.
40,
No, not 40.
yeah, he was
Was
born in
it?
the 40s, yeah.
not like 42 or something.
See your pictures up
No.
there?
Dad's 76. Oh, all the kids. Dad is 76 right now, and it's 2018. So, quick math, 7. So, yeah, he was born in 44. So that was before even the Second World War was done yet. Second World War ended in 45. And you had your firstborn right when the war was still going on, right? Yeah, Second World War. And then you lived through the Depression.
Yeah.
God, all that.
Everything, yeah.
Do you remember those times?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Do you think those times affected you a lot? Like how you...
I don't think so. I think everybody lived, you all lived the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't, I can't, you know, I can remember all different things that happened in,
When did you buy that house on Rodimer?
Hmm?
When do you remember when you bought that house on Rodimer? And when was that? That
On
was,
Rodimer?
No,
or I mean on Ringgold.
Ringo, yeah.
they
Peter
built
and
it.
Kent,
Yeah. Oh, you built that
your
one.
mom and dad had that house on Rodimer.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm losing it.
yeah. That's still standing too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you probably bought that house in the 50s, maybe, right? Or when you had Peter and Leslie,
Well, no, we built that house.
and
Yeah.
then you had kids, or did you have kids
No,
first?
no. We had kids first.
Okay.
And then when the house was being built, we went up to live in Milton with Harriet and Jack
Oh, okay.
until they finished it.
Gotcha.
And then from then on, it just, you know. And then you went and painted after we sold it. Didn't you paint the fireplace and stuff
Yeah, to sell it.
to sell it?
Yeah.
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 And it's been sold once, twice, and the third time, a young girl got it. She was her first. No, I never. No.
I think I've listened to every one of them. Probably there's a good 11, 12. But he's got the same character that lasts throughout all the different books.
Yeah.
His name's, I forget, he's an attorney, you know, and he's real sophisticated. He builds up these characters, and you buy into the characters. And you know what helps? Is Tony Roberts does the voiceover. You know Tony Roberts, the actor?
I can't place him.
He's an older guy, but he does all the voices for these characters.
Oh,
He does the one guy. He does, you know, one guy's like.
Do you smell something? What does he eat?
Puppy food.
Look at that. Yes, Grandma loves you to death. You could come here and stay with me. Oh my God. Who are you going to have to take care of him when you go to...
I don't know yet.
Oh, shit. I wish I could have him, but I can't. Oh, God. I'd love to take him down and show him to somebody.
Don't let her bite you.
Oh, she won't bite. She's just, no. No, that's gonna let Mama go. Oh, you're gonna have the nicest home. Yeah, shoot until your grandpa and grandma come, and then you can come down here and stay. She's got nice teeth. You got nice teeth. Oh, that was so nice of you, Mama, to bring you down to see me. Yes, it was. Oh, I wish you could talk on the phone. Yes, I do. I wish you could talk on the phone. I do. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you do. Nice baby. Oh, nice little baby doggy. Oh, God, I could eat him right up. God, I just love him to death. Look at that. How sweet he is. Yes, it's a nice. You know a good grandma when you see one, don't you? Yeah, yes you do. You know your grandma when you see one. Yes.